Jay here, Stretford, Paddock, and this is it. This is the big one, Mr. Smith. Forget your Champions Leagues and your Premier Leagues and all that other drivel. We're talking about the FA Cup, yeah? We're talking about 2016, 2004. We're talking about 99, 96, 94, 90, 85, 83. 77.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 63.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about, and they're just the ones in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Manchester United have a very good record in the FA Cup. It is a good chance of silverware. We are in the third round, obviously, playing an Everton team that, if I was being kind, I'd say are an utter shambles. You up for this one, son?
Oh, always up for the FA Cup. The oldest cup since the Holy Grail. Do you know what I mean? Since Jesus drank out of it. I think he did drink out of the FA Cup, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, that was the League Cup because he liked the three handles, didn't he? But other than that, this is about as old as it gets, right? It's to be honest, I think winning the FA Cup is the biggest achievement United have had since Sir Alex left. I think I rate that higher than
even bigger than Stockholm.
I rate it higher than that.
Right. Okay.
Because the FA Cup is the best English cup competition.
Yeah.
The Europa League isn't the best anything. It's
I
the
struggle.
second best.
I understand your point completely.
Yeah.
And I it was great when we won both of those trophies. I struggle to take the emotion out of your Stockholm.
Of course.
But you know what I mean? I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It wasn't
where you're coming
the most
from.
momentous day.
Yeah.
But
it's just whenever I think of Stockholm, I think of what happened just before it, obviously with the tragedy, and then to win it and get into the Champions League via it. It was, oh my gosh. But you're right in terms of, in terms of prestige, the FA Cup. I mean, it sort of lost a little bit of its luster because when I was a kid, winning the FA Cup was probably bigger than the league. People used to say, "Oh, you know what? FA Cup final, winning the FA Cup final is my dream." Now with the amount of, the amount of sort of attention that the Champions League gets, that all eyes are on that. Then you've got the Premier League sort of as well, and not even the Premier League. Finishing top four's become this big thing because of that. And the FA Cup doesn't give you a route into the Champions League, but it is a massive trophy.
Yeah, and I think for Ten Hag, winning a trophy this season isn't necessary, isn't going to cost him his job if he doesn't. But I think if you do, it sets you apart from Moyes, from Solskjaer. It's putting you in that category of managers that have sort of proven themselves successful. It was tricky one with Van Gaal because he got sacked the same year he won it. But with Jose, winning those cups was the sign of, okay, something might be happening here. I know obviously inevitably it didn't, but it gives you that final piece of kind of optimism and momentum that I think Ten Hag obviously doesn't necessarily need, but it would be massive for him if we got it. I think just going from, we're playing good football now, we're winning some games, to, no, we can win silverware, we can get to a final, we can win it, that would be absolutely massive. And I think the FA Cup is such a good one to win as well.
You make a great point because you look at, I think, under Busby, 1948, we won the FA Cup, his first silverware. Fergie, 1990, his first silverware.
You were at both of those games as well.
I was to be fair, I was only 7 in 1948, so, I don't remember it that well. But especially in terms of Fergie, the pressure was on him.
Yeah.
We'd flattered to deceive. You remember it was Pete Molyneux with his big bed sheet with, 3 years of crap, whatever it was, Tara Fergie, excuses, sorry, it's just not good enough. Winning that FA Cup made people, okay, we've won the FA Cup, there's a bit of buzz. Next season, we won the greatest trophy you can win, and there's no debate about that, the European Cup Winners' Cup. Winning this trophy, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there. It could be massive, not just for Eric Ten Hag, but a lot of players who haven't won anything yet. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes hasn't. I don't think he's. Well, certainly not in England anyway. No. Not for Manchester United. So players like Bruno, Maguire, all the pressure that he's under, he's not won anything yet.
Wan-Bissaka.
I'm trying to think who else. Some of the newer signings, of course, haven't won anything at Manchester United.
I mean, even people like Christian Eriksen. I think he might have got a Serie A for what he did at Inter.
With Inter.
But it wasn't the sort of fundamental part of that team like he is with this.
No.
Like, it would be massive for him. And then you got, other players like Garnacho and youngsters that would be great to see them win something as well.
If you're Marcus Rashford, when you were 21 or whatever it was, or 20, you'd won the FA Cup, the League Cup, and you'd won the Europa League, and you're thinking, I'm flying here, and now you're 25 and you haven't won out since. No. And, you've scored a lot of goals and you've been at Manchester United all that time, you're thinking, how's this happened? How have I managed to spend 8 years at Manchester United or whatever it is and only won 3 trophies and none for the last 6 years? Yeah. So, I think there'll be a massive sort of eagerness from a lot of the players to finally put some silverware in the cabinet for Manchester United. With all that being said, do you think Erik ten Hag is going to massively rotate for this one? Because he rotated a little bit for the Bournemouth game. Seeing the likes of Donny van der Beek and even Maguire Lindelof starting was a bit of a surprise. Worked out very well with a 3-0 win. Everton, we'll get to them a little bit later on, but they have been struggling. They recently battered at home to Brighton, despite having that good result at the Etihad. Do you expect to see maybe a few players? We'll get to your starting 11 a bit later on, but do you expect to see a few players who we don't see a lot of starting this game?
I think if you'd have asked me that a month ago, I would have said yes, definitely.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, this is our best chance of sort of silverware this season. Obviously, I mean the League Cup is a better chance because we're already in the quarter-final. We've got Charlton, but in terms of this is up there with that, and it means more to win the FA Cup than the League Cup. However, and this is obviously going to sound mad, with the last month of results, with Newcastle dropping points twice, City dropping points, Arsenal dropping points, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, everyone dropping points around us, I don't think we're in a title race by any means, because you can't even say who's in the title race after 17 games. The title race doesn't exist yet. Do you know what I mean? But we're in a position where first place isn't out of sight. We're 9 points off top. I think that maybe now the priority will be, let's try and catch Arsenal. We could finish ahead of Arsenal and still finish third. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying if we finish above Arsenal, we've won the league. But I think a month ago the only aim was top four. And I think now there might be a bit more in the back of the mind than that. So maybe we will see a bit more rotation than we would have if this was our best chance and biggest chance to win a trophy. I still think he will rotate, but I don't think it will be quite as strong a team as it could have been if this was kind of, what the season is relying on. Because maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm too scared. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, obviously, but there's a chance that we could catch who is currently first. Yeah. So let's focus on that.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because if you'd have said to me at the beginning of the season, 17 games in or whatever, you'd be 9 points behind Arsenal. I think that's a disgrace, and tonight's probably on the dole queue. Yeah, here we are, and it's actually been a positive season so far. Yeah. With everything you've mentioned, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, I think for me, I think we can afford to rotate, bar one or two players. Yeah, and when I say one or two, I mean Casemiro or Marcus Rashford. Yeah. I would have said Lisandro Martinez a few weeks ago, but I think we've shown that we can cope without him. So I've done not much rotation, if I'm being honest. We can go through there. You can see Dalot, who came on against Bournemouth, I've put him back into the starting 11. Raphael Varane and Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw. That's basically your strongest back five in it, really. Certainly the one that Erik ten Hag prefers when everyone's fit. In midfield, I've got Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno Fernandes. I always wonder with Eriksen, does he need a bit of a breather now and again? And I think if he does, now will be the time. He looks a little bit goosed, especially towards like the sort of second half of games. So I think it might be now might be a time to rest him. I thought Fred was very impressive when he came on against Bournemouth. The front three there, Rashford, Martial and Antony. Antony, I know, was injured. He's been back in training this week, so he could be available. And I think if he is available, this would be a good game for him to play in. Yeah. Antony Martial didn't have the greatest game against Wolves or against Bournemouth for that matter, but he's still involved in the play, especially against Bournemouth. I thought his link-up play was good. Marcus, I don't care who plays, you've got to play Marcus Rashford at the minute because he's just on fire. So as long as he doesn't miss any training sessions or isn't late for anything, he should be fine. So yeah, I've gone with a pretty strong team.
Very strong team.
I think on the 10th we play Charlton. Yeah. You can play the Rezzies there for that one. Well, this one, I still feel you need to play a relatively strong team. And I think some of these players will benefit from playing now against an Everton team that are under pressure. So I'm a Premier League team, and I expect Frank Lampard to pick a strong team. Because I don't think, if you rest a load of these players, and then you rest some of them for the Charlton game, and then you play Manchester City, I think that could be doing yourself a mischief. Yeah,
I agree. If you just move on to my team, I think quite similar. But what I think the point I was sort of carrying on from what you said before is you look through that team at the people who you would say are sort of rotation pieces. Yeah. Malacia, McTominay, Garnacho, right? Fred. They've all played many games this season. Yeah. Garnacho in recent weeks is playing pretty much every game. Yeah. Fred is coming on as a substitute in most games at the moment, like he's coming on to shore up the midfield. Very well. And looking excellent whilst doing it. McTominay played, I think, almost all of the first 10 games this season. Even Malacia, he had that initial start where he played all the games, came away for Luke Shaw for a little bit, but last few weeks he's come back in again with the injury of Diogo Dalot. And he's doing such a good job of it's not like here's the 11 and then everyone else is shit and they make you worry. You could almost start, other than the goalkeeper, you could have De Gea, you could have Wan-Bissaka, like we saw last night. You could have Maguire, Lindelof and Malacia and not be that worried.
No.
You could play Fred, McTominay and maybe Van der Beek. Maybe that midfield would be a bit more of a push. But other than that Fernandes position or Casemiro, you could then have Garnacho. Again, the striker position is the one where you kind of need Rashford or Martial. But then you could have Anthony, Elanga or Sancho on the right-hand side and no one would really question it.
No, it's amazing. We've got a squad. Yeah. We have. I think, it's just if we get one or two injuries to key players where you go, okay, we may be a little bit short in certain areas. Certainly up front, I know there's no dispute we need a striker.
I think the crucial ones are Varane, Casemiro, Bruno and Rashford.
Yeah.
I think you need minimum 2 of those playing every game
I
this
completely
season.
agree. I think for me, Casemiro's just on a different level at the minute. I know you've gone Bruno, McTominay and Fred, I understand that one. But yeah, Casemiro's the one I'm very confident when I see him started. I wouldn't be confident if I was an Everton fan at the minute. They're going through a reet time of it. The results there, I think, is it loss, draw, loss is their last 5 results. That draw at the Etihad, ironically, being the one that probably everyone expected him to lose.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard under all sorts of pressure. Yeah. Damari Gray's been quite decent for them. He's scored a few goals. It's not like he's set the world alight, but compared to some of his teammates, he's doing okay. Do you see them offering much of a threat, Everton?
Yeah. Because like they turned up against City, they'll turn up in this game because Lampard can probably get them to turn up in the big games. They've won 3 games in 18 so far this season in the league, which is obviously awful. He's the favourite to get sacked. All that we could sweep them to one side. We could do that because we've got a lot better at beating teams that we're better than.
Yeah.
But if they turn up, we could get a really difficult. What they're going to do, speaking to a couple of City fans, which I don't make a habit of, but I do it occasionally, talking about that Everton game, what they did is fouling from the off, pushing the referee as far as they possibly can, going down at every single touch, pressing as hard as they possibly can, and just sitting there. So it's going to be one of those games that is horrible to watch. If we don't win it, we'll be sat here afterwards lamenting refereeing decisions, saying how shithousery Everton were.
Do you know what that is, though,
that's
Joe?
what they do.
That's City fans, though. City fans would rather tell you that than go, Jack Grealish had a stinker. We've wasted 100 million quid on him. Yeah. Pep got it wrong. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I understand that Everton played a certain way and they've got to. But City and Pep as well, it's like if they get beat or they draw, it's the opposition not playing football the right way. And it's like, how often did we have that under Ferguson? We still beat teams. Yeah. It's just the City just can't accept it when they've just not turned up.
No, of course. And that's the thing. And Everton will play like that, but we have to beat them anyway.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. With all that being said, gives you score prediction, Arkid.
I do just think we're going to be too much for him. I think it might be really close. I'm going to go 2-1 United.
2-1 United, yeah. I'll go. We've been clean sheet-tastic lately, haven't we? We've not conceded a goal since the Fulham game. I'll go for another clean sheet. I'll go for 2-0. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know your score prediction, your predicted 11. Let us know about anything and everything. How much of a trophy or how much attention do you have or should be focused towards the FA Cup? Yeah. Is it a priority for you, or would you rather we prioritise the league? Joe, where can people find you?
Joe Smith93 on Twitter and Instagram.
And the Sloppy Joe's podcast. Go and check that out. You know where to find me. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Motti. That's been Joe Smith. This has been the Everton third round FA Cup preview. Thanks for watching.